action.
What's up, Rock Camp? Piano players, keys masters. How y'all doing tonight? We have very special guest, Courtney Lane, who
I'm
has
glad to
taught
be
our
here.
first lesson, but Courtney taught us another amazing lesson, one of the most important lessons about having fun and having confidence and stage presence.
Cool.
Yeah, Courtney, thank you so much for your awesome lesson.
Thank you for letting me teach you guys. I mean, this is like my favorite part of music is like getting down and having a good old time. So thank you.
Yeah, it is a good old time, right? I want to start with any questions or any thoughts that people had about trying, certain things or being using your stage presence while you're playing. Did anything come up for anyone from the lesson?
I was just talking about before we started, when you're standing up and you're like dancing around, like for me, since I'm new at making like chord shapes with my hands, like hitting the right keys. Just wondering like tips for that, or I think you were saying it just doesn't matter. So like maybe talk
Right.
about that a little bit as far as like being able to look cool, but also still playing at least close to what you're trying to play.
That's like such a great question because it's true. You can it's really important to like stay physically engaged, but also like you do want to play notes that sound like music. You know, you can jump around and like smash your hands on the keys and it sounds cool, but if you want to really like keep your chord shapes, um if it kind of depends on the vibe you're going for. If you really want, those particular notes, then maybe lay back on the jumping up and down right there. But the best time to really jump up and down is when you're, let me change my sound here, is when you're
You're not
staying
muted,
on
Hillary.
Oh,
staying on
sorry.
one bit.
I mean, I rock.
Like it's important to move your body with the rhythm of the music that you're playing as well. So even if you hit a wrong note, I think the notes that kind of sound the most dissonant are when they're both the wrong note and the wrong timing. So if you keep your timing good, if you're like moving your body with the beat of the music and with your drums and with the rhythm that you're playing on your keys, I mean, I just played a wrong note there, but it sounded pretty cool. So I would focus on whether it's, if you're shredding really hard and it's like the crazy part of the song, then I would say a wrong note's not gonna make anyone walk away. Everyone's having everyone's jamming. But if it's like more of a quiet part of the song where you do want to like maintain that chord shape really tight, then I would say get lower to the piano. That's what helps me is to kind of bring my shoulders a little closer to the piano so I can control my arms a little better. Because when you are like all the way up here, like it's hard to look at your hands, and it's hard to, make sure that they're in the right spot. But the closer you get to the piano, you can keep moving, but you're in closer proximity to your notes and makes it easier to keep your chords tight.
Rockin', I love it. We were talking earlier about maybe some things like getting nervous about playing our songs. Do you have any tips to help with like getting your nerves out before you play? And maybe if you make a mistake on stage, what do you do?
Well, this is one of the biggest things that I learned when I was, learning how to play piano. My old piano teacher, she would always tell me, if you make a mistake, do not stop because nobody cares. Do not stop. Don't freak out. Like, just move on because people probably didn't even hear it. If you, carry yourself confidently that what you're doing, you can play a wrong note and the people, it's jazz is all wrong notes. People aren't going to stop listening. People aren't going to, not like it because you hit one wrong note. Keep going, go harder, like, carry yourself confidently and people will eat it up no matter what note you play. um, Beforehand, if you're nervous, I like to shake it out, drink lots of water, talk to your friends, make sure you've peed before going on stage. If you have to pee before you're playing, you're going to have a bad time. It's going to make you even more nervous, takes blood away from your brain. um, Shake it out, And if you're still nervous, just know that you're really cool. The thing is, there's nothing that I can do to like tell you to fully get rid of that nervousness, because that's kind of part of performing, is like a little bit of butterflies in your tummy, and that might never go away, but that's kind of the fun part. So just know that people are there to have fun. People are never there to judge you. This is what I talked about, in my last video, is that people aren't there to criticize you. People aren't there with like notebooks writing down what you're doing wrong. People are there to have as much fun as you're having. So have fun. If you make a mistake, who cares? Not you. That's my
Yeah, I
answer.
love that. And another thing I really like when I watch you perform is that you put your whole passion into it. Like I can tell that you care about not only just what you're singing, but also when you go to your instrumental piano breaks, like I can tell that you care about what you're playing. And it is just like simple movements that you're doing, but you're staying engaged. And it's real, right? You're not like putting on a gimmick, like you really do care about what you're doing.
Of course. I mean, I love playing music so much, and the more you do it, this is the thing, is that the first time you play, and the first time you go for a solo, and the first time you practice that new part of your song with your band, it's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking. But the more you do it, it just becomes normal. It becomes a bit of a ritual for you, and it feels so good to just be completely engaged in your music from head to toe. And it might take a little bit of practice to like get in that mindset, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get with it. And it just feels so great to be totally physically and mentally engaged with the song that you're playing, and you can do it.
Awesome. I love that. You can do it. Positive self-talk, right?
Always. I
Positive
always
self-talk. I'm wondering if anyone wants to share their piano parts with us and be brave and share what you're playing, maybe just part of your song or a couple of the notes, and maybe try playing it, sitting down and kind of like concentrating, and then try playing it while you have fun. Channel your inner Courtney and exactly channel your rock star. Does someone want to try first? We got Hillary and we've got the little Thornton there. I'm drawing a blank on your name. You're gonna have to tell us, but there we go. I can see. Do you want to try your piano part? Yes, no? Hi. Remind me her name again, JC.
Oh,
Oh, we
you're
can't hear
muted.
you.
Well, you're not muted, but we can't hear you. So your microphone is probably set to some other microphone. The little up arrow next to your mic can let you choose a microphone.
Okay, does this work now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yay!
Nice.
Okay, Sydney. Sorry, I just
Sydney, thank
noticed. I
you.
said, "Hey, sorry, I didn't put your name in there."
That's
Sorry,
okay.
guys. We've been out of commission this week with my surgery and recovery. It's been a little rougher than I thought it would be. So we're gonna flesh that out a little bit and commit to catching up on
Okay.
lessons. So
Awesome. Well, no rush, no worries. I'm wondering,
yeah,
Sydney, do you
thank you.
remember the rock camp song? The beginning of the rock camp song? In the E's, when you play your E's? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you want to try that for us? Try rocking out? Because I saw you dancing with your piano earlier. It looked awesome. So do you want to try showing us how you play the rock camp? Or how about anything? You could play whatever you want on your keys. Do you want to just try showing us your stage presence?
Mm,
No? That's all right. I saw it earlier, so we can always rewind back and go watch because they were pretty awesome dance moves. I saw them. How about you, Hillary? Do you want to show us your song parts or some of
Sure,
it?
yeah. So my band is doing a song in D minor, which at first I was like, I don't even know how to play D minor, but then I figured it out. So on your keyboard, if you want to play along, Sydney, if you want to play along to what my song is, if you play D, F, and A, that makes a D minor chord. So one finger on D, skip a white note, go to F, then go to skip a white note, go to A. So that's my first note, and that's like the key that our song is in. And then because whoever decided to do this can play a B flat really easily. They were like, let's play B flat next. And I was like, I don't even know how to play B flat on a keyboard, but then I learned by going to lessons. So I realized in a B flat, the D and the F are in the same chord as the D minor, the D and the F. So then I just put my other finger on the B flat. So I've been playing it with two fingers, or sometimes I do get it right and kind of like reach this way. But basically, if I play the D, F, A together, D minor, and then I just put my other finger on the B flat and the D and the F, there's my B flat. And then our next chord is F, which starts on F, and the next note is A, and then C. So F, and then our last note is C. So I can either go up higher to this C, or I can go down lower to this C. And after playing for a little while, I was just kind of playing the root notes. So I was just playing like D, B flat, F, C, D, B flat, F, C. So I was just kind of like playing that over and over again to kind of get like, okay, that's the groove of it, right? And then I decided to be a little more brave after the last lesson of like playing notes that were in each chord and kind of coming up with a part. So the part that I came up with to go over those notes is just like D, something like that. So I'm basically, what I did to cheat is on a D. So I wrote down a D has D, F, D minor has D, F, and A in it. A B flat has B flat, D, and F. So as I was just messing around, when I was on a C, I knew I could play a C, an E, or a G. So that's what we're on this side of paper. So yeah, I just started messing around, and so far I like the part, but it might change it a little. And that's our chorus. Our verse is really similar, but I'm kind of just doing the same kind of thing, just whatever sounds good. And what I did is have June is playing bass in our band, so to practice, I've had June just play the basic like D, B flat, F, C over and over again, right? And as she's playing that, I'm trying things like, see, kind of try to find a cool, I don't know what that's called, a melody.
That's
So
exactly what it's called. It's a melody.
I made a melody, y'all, on the keyboard.
Yeah. I like that lead line, it's like emotional sounding. It makes you feel emotional.
Yeah, it kept getting kind of stuck. Like no matter what I was doing, I would kind of keep coming back to doing that. And I was like, okay, I think that's like it got stuck in my head. So I knew that was a good thing.
Yep, exactly. If it gets stuck in your head, it's a bop, y'all.
But I also tried some things like before I got to there, I was just trying to play like the D minor just on like the ones or one N. I even hit the wrong notes. It doesn't sound bad. You were right, Courtney. You were right the whole time.
As long as it looks cool and sounds cool, then it's cool.
Yeah, I tried on the eights, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I tried, since I knew where the ands were, I just tried on the and, so it would be like 1. Wait, am I doing on the ands? You have to hear the rest of the song.
That was on the and.
Yeah, just like starting on the and instead of starting on the one, just 1 and. So it's kind of reggae. So like I said, I have a lot of ideas and I have to now narrow it down to the idea that's going to actually go in the song. So it's time to narrow it down. But Sydney, I hope that gives you some ideas maybe of how to find your part since you guys are behind a little bit. Just start messing around.
Yeah.
What I did, just mess around.
Just mess around. And then the more you play your song, you'll be like, oh, this is actually what's easier, Mm-hmm. You'll naturally feel like, oh, this is what I want to play here. But that thing, and Courtney, do you have any tips for like picking between different parts?
Well, different parts. I would say just go for whatever's most comfortable for your hand and sounds the best while not compromising, timing. Because we've all done this where like you think of a really cool part and then you start going to play it and you're like, this is a huge pain and I am like, this just doesn't work with what I'm trying to do. And there's no shame in changing things. There's no shame in changing your mind. There's no shame in figuring out something that sounds just as cool but is easier and more comfortable for your hands. um, that's all songwriting is making sure you can play it as fluidly as possible while it's still sounding cool.
Sweet.
Sydney, do you guys know any of the notes in your song yet, Sydney? Like any notes? If it's a D or a C or nothing? Okay. You're going to be able to play anything on that keyboard so far. Hopefully you'll come up with a few chords and then they can narrow it down and you can start messing around. Cool.
And Hillary, have you thought about your sound that you're going to do? Like your sounds?
Yeah, I have, like, piano, I think is kind of boring. What I was just playing was electric keyboard, and it has a little bit more of like a vintagey sound. I also like organ, but it seems like with organ, the organ sound, I would want to just like hold it out longer, like hold out. Makes it sound a little too churchy for me though, so I don't know if I'll go there. But yeah, I haven't decided on a sound, but every time when I have band practice where we're going to play through it, I switch to another sound to see if I like it or if it's too annoying or if it fits the song. So I think I have it narrowed down to maybe like 98 sounds now.
98. Nice. And you can always like start, if you're starting your song out quiet, you might start with the organ, right? And start with this like lifting kind of moody sound. Mm-hmm. And then if your song starts to pick up and you have your like heavy chorus, then you might switch to a synthesizer. You might switch to the electric piano, something where you can do more percussive sounds. And that is just like, that's the coolest thing about piano is that you have like all these effects built in of ways to make people feel through your instrument. Courtney, I know you use a lot of piano sound. I think it's amazing because you like have this way of making it not sound like a piano, Is there like a method to your madness when you're picking sounds for writing your songs?
I'm going to tell you guys a terrible secret, and it's that I choose whatever sound I want immediately as I'm starting playing the song, depending on my mood. I can never decide. It's the curse of the keys, because when you have like a bank full of sounds, they all sound so cool. And I'm bad about keeping my songs the same. I love kind of matching the energy of the crowd and the people I'm playing with. So that's what's so cool about keys. That's what I love about having like a bank of different sounds, is that, so this is my concert piano sound. And that's really good for, stronger, more in your face, like hardcore playing. But then I am a sucker for my Rhodes, my 70s, electric organ. Where's that? Let me find it. 60s E piano? No. Maybe? I gotta find something cool. Whatever. I have a bunch of these guys, and I love my organ. It's depending on your vibe, and I do whatever I want, and so should you.
There are no rules. I love that you say you do wait and see what your audience is, see what the show is like. That is so important,
Wherever you're playing, like it might be different. Like if it's a little smokier and like quieter, then I might go for like a warmer electric piano. What have I got here? That's not warm at all. That's cool.
That's 80s.
It's very 80s.
80s R&B. Oh yeah.
I love that one. But if you're going harder with a whole band, then some really strong organ in the background, like Hillary, you were playing those kind of organy chords, and you said it was a little churchy, and organ's always a little churchy, but I loved that like Talia was saying, that would be gorgeous for like the beginning of a song, like when it's kind of coming up and you're building that energy. And then once you break into the gnarly part of the song, you can hit them with some grand piano, some some of that.
Some of that, exactly, some of that. What's cool on the organ sound too is that you start your volume down. Let me find mine. So I start my volume down quiet. Like you can do this whole big swell, start really quiet. And if the whole band is changing chords, you can just stay on the one chord. And you do that swell, and that creates like this lift and this tension, and it's really kind of awesome. And people don't realize that about the organ. It's rad
That's
like
cool.
that.
I might actually, that gave me a good idea. We have a bridge that just goes from D minor to C minor, just back and forth like a weird, crazy bridge.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure what I was going to do on that part yet. But yeah, organ swells might be cool. Just if I went from D minor to C minor and just like turned up my volume. I just wanted to sound weird because it's like we're all dropping out and supposed to be playing weird stuff while we whisper and then we
Nice.
scream for a while. So I need something weird. Organ might be just a ticket for that.
Yeah, and maybe with the beginning of your scream, you start your organ quiet, and at the
Yeah.
end of the scream, bring it way loud. And yeah, that's like, people think that musicians are like this amazing magicians, but really it's not. It's just like teeny tricks.
Yeah.
If you do things like that and then you break it back down to silence, like you get goosebumps. That's the stuff that people get goosebumps. You're like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And it's simple things as using your volume knob on your keyboard.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to hear what y'all do. And Sydney, I'm excited to hear what you guys come up with. And I want to let JC know. I don't know if JC's still there. Or Sydney pass us along. Yeah, you're still there. No pressure. Like, I have written several one chord songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Their songs don't have to be any more than that. They don't have to be more than 2 chords. And you're really getting somewhere if it's 3 chords. So, like, don't feel pressure,
Oh, we're
Start-
not. I think we're kind of like taking some cues from the Violent Femmes, to
Yes.
keep it super simple and just like a rockin', just
Yeah.
fun vibe. And
I love
think
it.
it's something that we can easily get caught up on. I think just to have the kids exposure to stage presence and to just performing in a song. Like I'm so excited to see this creative process. So we're gonna come up with something cool. And I know Kenzie is doing a good job of helping us direct the song and the chords, and she has something already kind of pulled together. So we'll flesh that out a little bit this week.
Awesome. We'll let any of us know if you need help or your band manager know. Kenzie's your band manager. So
Yep.
awesome.
Sid is asking if at some point she has some courage now to play a little something for y'all if she can. Whenever.
Let's do it. We're ready.
You want to play your part? Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Sydney, Sydney, Sydney. What?
Yeah.
What? That was like super synth.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So we can. Okay, cool. Yes.
Right? Stuck in my head already.
That's not the one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Sydney, can you try it for me this time standing up? Maybe try it and try standing up and maybe moving a little bit when you play it.
Oh, it's a little close.
Yeah, you have to be careful with chords and all that, but.
Okay.
Oh, make sure we can see you. Yeah, good job. See, you already got it down.
Rock it out.
Yeah. Excellent.
That was awesome.
Courtney, how was that performance? Did you notice anything?
That was absolutely gorgeous. I'm so proud. You guys are doing amazing. One thing that makes me more confident in my standing up is So we talked a lot about counting. Counting's a huge part of music. It's easier to count and it's easier to keep your time when you're counting with your body and not just your brain. So you don't have to, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, because that's a little bulky. That doesn't feel super rock and roll, I know. And so it makes it so much easier, not just to keep your time, but also to move when you have the music, in your bones, when you're counting with your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then you don't even really need to say the 1, 2, 3, 4 because you've already got the groove. And once you get that groove, then you can't be out of time because your whole body's in time. So I would work on that. You guys are doing incredible, great job.
Yeah, that was awesome. I definitely know too, if I have more fun when I'm playing, then I have more fun when I'm playing, but also my audience has more fun, right? It translates. So what we did in our vocals lesson and bass lesson is we talked about positive self-talk instead of negative self-talk. Courtney, have you ever had a moment where you maybe had negative self-talk before you got on stage, and did you notice what happened when you did that?
Maybe I have, Talia. Perhaps I have had a moment of
We're all
weakness or
musicians.
myself. You know, oh man, all these people are better at music than me, and what am I doing? Like, I'm not even that great. And I need you to take those thoughts and put them in the garbage because they're garbage. You are killer, no matter what your level of technical skill is. That is irrelevant to the fact that you are a badass and that you are going to kill it no matter what. And what's most important is that you're having fun, because if you're up there not having fun, then your audience, like Talia was saying, your audience is kind of going to be like, they're going to read your energy. They're going to be like, oh man, they're not having a ton of fun, so why am I going to have a ton of fun? But if you're playing one chord the whole time, if you're, playing the simplest song and everyone else is, all doing all this technical stuff, you're still possibly going to be the most fun person there, because if you're grooving and getting down and interacting with your audience, then it doesn't matter how many notes you play because you're killing it.
Absolutely. Aaron, did you have any thoughts, or did you want to try anything on the piano for us?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Awesome.
This is what we got. Oh, hold on. It's not loud enough.
Whoa.
I gotta turn it up.
That's a clavinet. I love it.
Yeah, that's the one that you said. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Reggae vibes. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
With the bass line. You're playing the bass with your left hand,
Yeah.
playing your rhythm with your right. That's incredible. What? You're holding out on us, Aaron.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, I think that's natural. You have a very natural feel, and that's awesome. I love it.
It's
And the sound matches what you're playing perfectly.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Good job. And you were having fun, right?
I was, yeah. I'm still nervous about how we're all gonna play together, because my children, we each have our little parts. But I kind of want to record some things and have it playing behind so that they can play together with it, because that's been hard for us all to hear each other and play together at the same time.
Play together. Yeah, that is probably every band's hardest thing, is to listen and learn to play. One thing, especially because you have younger kids, you could your song could just be everyone has a solo.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you all start together and you make some noise, and then everybody has a solo part, and then you all end and make some noise together. There's ways to, get around it and make your song work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, but
We're getting into it this week. We're going to pull something together. It's going to
good.
Yeah.
So they make what's called a looping pedal, as you know. I could see if I have an extra one, because that would be a way for you to put. A looping pedal is it records what you play, and you tell it what you want it to record, and then it plays it back for you. And so you can practice that. And that's kind of cool because, you know, playing it back on your cell phone, sometimes you're not going to hear it as much. But that would be the other way to do it, is play it into your cell phone, and then you can go edit it so the clip ends in time and repeat it. But that's also work.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's cool. Your part's awesome.
Sweet. Thank you. Those
Yeah.
are good tips. I appreciate it.
Definitely. We're here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we talked about this again. I want y'all to write 5 things that you love about yourself tonight. So 5 things that you love about yourself that gets you jazzed, that makes you feel like you are the rock star that you are. And it's important to do that. It's important to have positive self-talk. It's important to build yourself up. Just like we say we build each other up, we should also have a chorus that says, I build myself up, not tear myself down. I guess the remix. I think we need the remix. But it's true because, like, we do build up our bandmates, but if we say, hey, I'm not very good at this, or I'm not going to be good at this, well, you might not be then. But if you say, you know what, I rock, you go out there with confidence, you're going to rock, and people are going to love your performance no matter what, right? Oh, thanks for the heart, see? Sydney gets it. And I think, Courtney, you get it too, because you put out this positive energy on stage. It's not an ego or anything like that, but you are bigger than your music. Do you know what I mean by that?
I love playing music and performing, for people who like listening to music more than anything in the world. Like, it is my favorite thing, and I know you can relate because it's the most magical thing that, it's just the best, and I love it. And so I'm always in a great mood when I'm playing music. I used to get nervous, and it's easy to get caught in, especially if you're playing, after people or before people, you're opening a set or you're after a band. It's easy to be like, oh, they're better than me, and I'm not that great, and that is straight up irrelevant to how well you're going to do. It does not matter what they play. Stop comparing yourself to other musicians and know that you as an individual are absolutely fantastic, and that the more fun you have, the better you're going to do. So take those negative thoughts and throw them outside, because we're getting rid of those, and only positive self-talk from now on.
Throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your amazing video, your amazing presence at Rock Camp. We really do appreciate, what you do for us, and your representation matters to all keyboardists on the planet. Does anyone have a question or anything before we say bye? Any questions? No. All right, Courtney, any final words of wisdom before we say goodnight?
You're awesome. Keep killing it, and I love you.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming to Keys.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, Sydney.
Thank you.
I'm going to go play now.
Yeah.